Hi everyone. Welcome back. This is Idlands. Today I'm back with a video about ninjas. So ninjas are coming up in episode 8, and we're hoping it's gonna come out by the end of the month, or at least before the end of the month. And I'm really interested into the magic type ninjas, so I thought I'd make a video about it. It's not about the whole build per se, but more on some things that you probably should know before you go Magic Ninja. Okay, so before we start, just a disclaimer. I'm not a professional developer, and everything I'll be talking about is just purely based on testing, experience, and my personal observation, as well as my understanding of the in-game codes. Um, I don't work for XD. I've never worked in a programming company before, so please take everything I say with a grain of salt. Um, Also, I would like to thank Team Leaks. They're part of my Discord family, and if you're in the Discord server for the unofficial Ragnarok Eternal Love game, then just feel free to hit us up if you have any questions, or just drop by to say hi. Okay, so now there are a couple of things I wanted to talk about, but these are some of the things you should know before you go Magic Ninja. The first one is Kabuto Helm actually works on magic. Now this whole description here is bollocks. I mean the penetration, yeah, that's true, physical penetration. But the stun chance, this one isn't just on physical attacks. This one also works on magic. Um, and then the damage to stun targets is also for magic. Okay, now if you're planning to go Magic Ninja, it's very important that you get as much debuffs as you can get. Stun pretty much is preferred, but if you can get sleep, if you can get freeze, those are good things as well. So you actually have two options. One is you could go with Thunder God's Kabuto, or you could also go with the little white dragon here. Okay, now maybe thinking, yeah, it's good, right? You stun, but it has a cooldown, right? So there's a 10-second cooldown. Now you don't have to worry because that 10-second cooldown is actually based on the player. So it means that player, you won't be able to apply the same stun effect within 10 seconds. However, if you target other players or if you damage other players, you'd still pretty much be able to stun them. So let me show that real quick. So let's pick some mobs here. Okay, so we've got 3 mobs here. Let me try to stun the first one, right? This first, second. So you see they're both stunned. Let's go get some other mobs. So don't test on this one. This one has stun resist. So as you can see, he's not getting stunned. So these stun, stun, stun. So pretty much you can see you're stunning them, right? So now what does that mean, right? And what does that mean as a magic ninja? It means that your AoE spells, and actually all of your spells are AoE, can actually apply the stun to multiple targets. I mean, maybe not the same people or not the same players, but at least the other players could get stunned within those time frame. And like for example, oops, they're all one hit. I mean, this is a trouble when you're testing on mobs. Let's see here, these guys, right? He's getting stunned. I'm gonna try to catch the same thing. Other folks are getting stunned. So it's very useful, especially if you're able to catch your enemies in this one area. I mean, like when they're very compressed, then you should be able to stun lock them, right? So these are the two options: Thunder God's Kabuto and the little white dragon here. You can use them to apply stun. I don't have this dragon in the official server, so I'm gonna go with Kabuto, which is still pretty decent if you ask me. It will not stun everyone 100% of the time, but it's still reliable. And if you want to do some extra damage, I mean, Ninja. Okay, let me say this right up front. Ninja isn't the best class to deal damage. Okay, I would say that for both physical and magic. Okay, yeah, the shuriken build is very impressive, it looks cool, but if you will force me to rank, or if you'll force me to pick the best damage dealer, it'll definitely not be ninja. It'll be somewhere in the upper half, but it's definitely not ninja on top. The same thing goes with magic. So I think it all boils down to how you want to choose it. Maybe you do want to do support magic, like what I will do, wherein I would just mainly try to debuff people. So I'll try to hold them in place. So I have stun, and then definitely stone curse is there. You can freeze and all that. But yeah, so these are your two options. I'll be going with Kabuto for the official server since this is what I have. And just to show that it does work, as you can see, they're getting stunned, right? It's very faint because of the ice, but they are actually getting stunned. So let's try again. And it's just a 30% chance, so sometimes it's hard to proc it, but if you're casting multiple spells one after the other, it's actually pretty decent. So, anyways, moving on to the next one. Oops, sorry about that. The next one is the range damage extract works for ninja, and I'm gonna show you what I mean with that. This one actually. So it talks about increasing mage AoE skill damage by 7%, but actually it doesn't just work for mages, it works for ninja as well. Let me show you real quick. So in here, this is the damage formula for several of the ninjutsu. Um, this one specifically for the dragon thing. So anyways, it's this one actually. So range dam. So this one is present into most of the mage's AoE spells, but this is also present in the ninja spells. So if you're gonna go with that Oracle Mirror extract, then it will affect it. It will work. Let's do some testing on that. Okay. So let's remove Kabuto. So you have full SP because there's a skill that affects the damage reduction based on your SP. So let's always test it full SP. So let's try this. So that was the damage, 89k. And now let's remove the Oracle Mirror. So now we remove the Oracle Mirror. Let's fill up our SP. So there's a change, right? So yeah, it works. It works for majority of your spells. Things I can guarantee it will work is this Ice Ninjutsu here. Likewise, the Snake Ninjutsu and the Dragon one as well. So yeah, I think also the Frog one. Let's test out the Frog. It's 213k. Let's put it back. Okay, I can't reactivate it. It's in cooldown. What is this? Anyways, so yeah, we can put up a list in the notes later on which skills are affected, but it's mostly those AoE skills that uses the same formula here. So as long as in the damage formula the range dam variable is there, then it is covered. Okay, next. Okay, this is, I don't know if this is a bug, and not sure if they're planning to fix this, but this one basically was, one member from the Discord community found this out. His name is Stoic, and thanks Stoic for bringing this up. But basically, the skill, um, this one, ninjutsu all-round attack. Okay, let's put that here. This skill, basically, when you cast this, will break you out of Misty Hiding, and it will prevent you from hiding using Misty. So what I'm trying to say is this, right? So you go into hide using Misty, and then let's cast it. Sorry, I attacked. Let's go back to hiding, and let's cast it. There, I reappeared, right? Now let's try to cast Misty again while that field is active, and I'll reappear again. So looks pretty strange to me, because if you just do, just go to Misty, right? If I just use the universal nature skill to create the array, it basically lets me still continue hiding. So does it make sense? I mean, I don't know if it's intended or not, but so basically, if you cast that, make sure that you can use fog cutting, because fog cutting you'd still be able to hide, or you get ready to run, right? I mean, we all know ninja survivability isn't so high, so without the hide skill, you're you're kind of like an easy target. So just get ready to hide. Okay, let's just try it out with Misty before, sorry, with fog cutting before we move on. So with fog cutting, you're still hidden. There. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier, just going back to Kabuto and the Jadeite White Dragon. This skill here, what is that? Let's put it here. This one, the Thunder Beast Psychic Spell Ogare. This one can't proc the stun. So even if I wear this, right? Let's try to do the stun, it doesn't. It does crit, which I'm gonna go there later, but it doesn't proc the stun. Actually, it doesn't proc anything. I was actually banking on this skill, but it's kind of understandable. Technically, you're not the one doing damage. What the skill does is it actually generates a buff around you that uses that lightning skill on the targets around you. So technically, you're not the one doing the damage. It just deals damage based on your attributes. Okay, next thing is the all-around. This attack here again. What was that called again? Okay, this all-around attack. It puts an array, right? It puts the magic array on the ground, the same as universal nature. Actually, just puts a level 1 equivalent, because this skill is just level 1. So, and I'm gonna show you what I mean with that. So let's go with Earth Aura. If I do this and I cast Universal Nature, it does Stone Curse. It's a 100% chance to Stone Curse an enemy. Break them out, they get stoned again. Right? If they don't have any resistance, or if their attributes against, Stone Curse is very low, they'll be stuck there. Now, if I do this attack, let's gather some more enemies. There, let's go back to them. When I use this, look how they just resisted, right? It's because it's level 1. It basically is just 10% chance. It's pretty useless. Actually, if they don't change this, if this attack will remain the same, then it's actually only good for clearing out earth fields and some of those really annoying domain fields that's mostly being used for war. But yeah, it's pretty useless as of now, if you ask me. It's a very nice way to throw your array towards a certain group of enemies. Just imagine if this was working properly, if it was set to level 10, then it's good, right? I mean, you basically throw it at them, and it creates a field that has 100% chance to apply to a certain debuff. Sadly, it's it's level 1, so it's just 10%. So let's hope they're gonna fix this. Let's hope they're gonna change this. But as of now, it's still the same here in the test server. Okay, next off, Kagebunshin is a staple skill um, for every build. I would really say it doesn't matter what build you're using. Um, this one is really something you should be getting, right? I mean, not just for damage, but it serves as a good diversion, right? Just imagine you could actually go hiding, and then you could summon your doubles, right? And then they just run around wild. I mean, there's no way to control them. Actually, they'd run around wild. Just because it doesn't mean that just because you're near a certain enemy, they'll attack that enemy. They'll just attack anyone within range. It's pretty stupid, actually, but it's very effective because they serve as a good diversion, especially during war um, or during tactical fights. So yeah. Now, one thing in question is always what skills can they use, right? And actually, let me pull that up. I had that here before. I forgot to bring it up. Let me search it quickly in Discord. Wait a second. So it's basically just a list of spells. Okay, where was that? Sorry, guys. Should have prepared it before we started. Okay, there, I have it. Anyways, the skills that it can actually use are the explosive shuriken, which is this one. Okay, the ninpun water arrays. It's just ninjutsu ice skill. Cross slash. I think it's this one, 10 slash here, and the shuriken. Also, it can use this frog thing here. Can use Amaterasu Flash. It can use this was the Shuriken, the Wind Dart cast. It can also use the Huma Shuriken, which is the Wind Shuriken Swift Shadow. And it can also use this fire one. It can't use the Snake Summon. Um, I would assume it's because of the debuff it carries. I think it's just too strong. I mean, the fear of this skill is just pretty good, right? I mean, it's 100% chance, and the enemy doesn't run away; they just stay in place. So I think they made it just to be fair for balancing. Would have been too overpowered if the Kagebunshin also cast that. So yeah, those are the skills it can use. There will be a change in CBT. In CBT, it has been applied already. So basically, they will just use the skills that you've learned and have put in your skill bar. That way, you can limit the skills that it's gonna use. But I think for auto attack, it's still gonna use the auto attack regardless of what you do. Yep, anyways, yeah, they're pretty annoying actually, but they serve their purpose. I mean, they're really good at diverting the attention. Okay, next off is skills you can cast without breaking Misty. Now, actually, Misty is a very good skill because it basically are able to maintain invisibility permanently, right? I mean, you know, when the skill gets on cooldown, when the cooldown of the skill stops, you are still basically in the hiding status. It's pretty good. Um, One thing though is there are skills that will actually break it, and of course, just like any hiding skill, attacking actually breaks this one. Okay, fog cutting is an exception. When you're in fog cutting status, you are on hide regardless of what attack you use. But here for Misty, right? I mean, those skills that actually you can use to and still remain hidden is actually this dragon thing, right? So you can cast it and you'd still be invisible. Likewise, the Makibisi, or the one that does the stun and bleed, you can cast it while you're still hiding. So it's actually pretty good because, you know, you have to keep in mind how a ninja fights, right? And I think that's what the developers had in mind when they designed this class. It's not really something that, it's not something that, engages in a head-on slugfest, right? I mean, if you think that's how a ninja should be, I think you've been watching too much Naruto. But um, it's really it's about deception, right? It's about staying hidden. It's about finding the perfect opportunity. And I think in most of the ninja things I've watched and read, that's really how it should be, right? It's not you storming head first into battle, right? And just diving right in there. So this class requires a lot of strategy and patience, and it's just really handy how you can cast some of the important skills while still remaining in Misty status. So these two, I think, even Universal Nature, I should be able to cast even when I'm in Misty, and it will not break it. The others, like buffs, right? Buffs definitely will not bring you out of Misty. One thing that will bring you out of Misty is this one, right? I mean, it's a buff, but yeah, it does attack, it does damage. It's definitely gonna bring you out. It doesn't matter if you hide back again; it's just gonna bring you out. So don't make the mistake of casting this little pesky skill here if you want to remain hidden. Kagebunshin definitely will you'll still be able to maintain Misty status even if you cast Kagebunshin. So that's good. And then even the other spells, right? Those buffs, you will remain hidden if you cast them. This one here, so let me go here. The Water Marsh Jutsu, actually, it doesn't bring you out, okay, when you cast it. The trouble is, if you get the Aesir, right, that automatically casts the Ninjutsu Ice, it will bring you out. Because when you use Ninjutsu Ice, it will break Misty. And Water Marsh has a Aesir that will automatically cast Ninjutsu Ice. So if I do this, right, once it casts Ninjutsu Ice on those, it will bring me out. There you go. So yeah, most of these buff skills will not bring you out, but there are certain conditions, right? I mean, like that one, it's a special condition. And it's just gonna take you out of hiding. So just keep that in mind. I think when you start playing ninja, it's important that you know what's gonna bring you out of hiding. Okay, because with your mobility, the enemy's sight from mage or from the Horum card will not be so much of a problem because of your mobility, but some of the things you actually do may actually cause you more problems. Also, vision zero, definitely that's just gonna it's just gonna reveal you anyways. Okay, next one is evil sachet. You have this one here. So this actually was asked several times in Discord. Okay, this one actually works on the ninja magic skills, and you know the crit chance actually stacks. So if you have two of these, the chance to crit actually stacks. So if you have 2 plus 12 of these, then I think you get about 20%. Yeah, because the base chance is 3%. When you get it to plus 8, it adds another 3%. And you get it to plus 12, it adds 4%, which is 10%. You wear two of these, you're going to get 20%. Now, people were interested in this because of the luck, right? So basically, when your spell crits, it's not like your normal crit from auto attacks. It does not ignore magic defense. Okay, it just actually multiplies your damage. It increases your damage. Okay, now people were interested because the damage increase can be amplified using luck. Now we have a skill for ninja where you actually deal true damage based on luck. It's called Soul Severance. Okay, so this basically your luck multiplied by 20 multiplied by the number of buffs on your target. Um, this sounds like it's gonna be real strong. Just you read it on paper, it's gonna look like this is really the way to go. But you actually do it, you actually use it. It's not that great. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong, right? I mean, it's good because you know it deals through damage. It can be reduced with refined damage reduction, but yeah, I just think that I think if I deal 6 digits using this, I'll be very happy. Really, I mean, when you fight Team Sun guilds, they have a lot of buffs, yes, but they also have a lot of refined damage reduction. So yeah, I deal 6 digits on this, I'll be very happy. I mean, I think at most for my testings here in the test server, and that's very minimal. Okay, I'm very weak here. Actually, in the actual server, I'm also very weak. um, you know, based on my testing here, it's playing somewhere around 20k to 30k. Okay, it works on Magic as well. It's pretty good. It works on Magic. But on the Thunder Beast, the Ogari, it doesn't work. But yeah, so that's why some people are interested in Evil Sachet. But yeah, the crit is working on your magic spells. Actually, this Ogari Beast here triggers it. Let's see if I can trigger it here. Ah, they died too fast. Let's go back to home. So, um, yeah, I think all of the skills I have tested and they are working with it. With Evil Sachet, there's one skill that I wasn't able to test, which is this all-around ninjutsu all-around attack. Um, you see, if you wear one, the chance is just 3%, right? And this one is a pretty long cooldown, so so I couldn't do actual testing, but it does work. I mean, just based on the formula, it should work. It does work. So this one, you see how low the chance is, right? I mean, this is 3%. Even if I get two, it's gonna be 6%. Still very low. Um, if I'm gonna if I'm gonna get 2 plus 12s, I'm gonna get 20%, which is a little bit decent. But then I'd be losing magic attack, right? Or maybe any tankiness that I would want to put into my character. Um, the dragon one also triggers the crit. See there. The snake. This one too. Also the see the chance is just too low. This one, let's try this one. This one will be terrible because the cooldown is long and it's only 2 seconds, so yeah, it will be terrible. Even if you have 20%, it will be terrible to use with this fire skill here. Another thing. Sorry, got off track there. So one thing I wanted to do with my build was so I'm gonna show you a part of my build. So I have Dietar Star card, right? Um, and what it actually does, there's a 30%, 33% chance to automatically cast Heaven's Drive when you receive magic attacks. Um, I don't use it for that. I actually use it for the freeze resist and the poison resist actually, because when Ninja comes out, I do want to have 100% stun and freeze resist. But one thing that's very funny here, if I use it here, so these dummy, they actually trigger a magic attack on you, which does 0 damage. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed that, but that's also the same reason why um, counter attack Halo or the auto guard um, skill procs when you're near your enemies at home. So yeah, if you consistently get hit with magic attacks, would be good to actually have Rita's star card. Um, it does consistent damage. I mean, it's not that strong, to be honest, but it just looks good as an eye candy, especially if you go with the spell quick build. So it's gonna be a main build actually. Okay, next off, buffs that Kagebunshin can carry. Okay, and actually, let me show you real quick. So, in the formula, right? Oh, sorry, it's here. Give me a second. Let me just search for the line for Kagebunshin. There you go. So actually, these are the buffs that Kagebunshin will have once you summon them. And what you have to understand is Kagebunshin isn't actually a copy of you. Okay, it creates an NPC. Okay, it creates an NPC that that inherits some of your attributes. It doesn't have your equipment. Okay, the only thing it has is your attributes. So, for example, if there's things that requires, if there are some effects that were in the condition is you have to be equipped with something, then it will definitely not inherit that. Okay, so for example, those cards, right? I mean, like Marina card for freeze, um, like the Jadeite Dragon, right? So it doesn't inherit those effects. It inherits your attributes. And we're gonna go there later a little bit. But these are the buffs, and pretty much um, aside from those that it mentioned Kagebunshin will have, there's actually nothing else that it will inherit in your buffs. So one thing that it actually has is let me show you real quick. This one, the Hidden Shadow, which is obviously intended for it, right? So it will automatically go into hiding. And then this one, which is the Burning Prison, which applies fire or burn to nearby enemies. Now, one thing, I think they added this as a bonus, is that all of your Kagebunshin will have zero variable cast time. Okay, not the fixed cast time. The variable cast time will be removed, regardless if your variable um, cast time is not fully um, eliminated. Your Kagebunshin will always not have VCT. Okay, the fixed cast time will still be there, but the variable will not be there. Actually, and if you cast 16 Knights to remove the FCT and then you do Kagebunshin, um, what you can see here is it will still have the fixed cast time. Compared to you, wherein the fixed cast time is no longer there. So for them, the cast time will still be there. That's because they are not inheriting your other buffs. Okay, yeah. Now moving on to some of the stats it inherits. Show that real quick. Yeah, so here's a list of the stats, right? So we've actually taken it from the game file. So it copies your strength, int, agi, dex, vit, luck, attack percentage, defense percentage, magic attack percentage, and so on and so forth. Your HP percentage, your hit, flee, crit. So these things, right? Copies it. Actually, it also copies reflect, dam rebound, and dam rebound. So if you have anything that you wear that gives you these attributes, it's gonna copy it. And then it's gonna copy normal attack damage, normal attack resistance, skill damage. Although it will not copy it 100%. You see, these are the values it will copy. These are the equivalent. Now, this is based on my understanding, okay? This doesn't necessarily have to be true. Um, so what I'm assuming is that at level 1, it will copy 6% of your strength. At level 10, it copies 10% of your strength, and so on and so forth. For max HP, at level 1, it copies 3%, and at level 10, it copies 10%. So at most, there's like a 10% max. And why am I assuming that that's the case, right? Because if I go into the files, let me go there real quick. Go here. Let me open the game config files. So actually this here, so this is where we got it from, right? The copy master attribute. This is for Kagebunshi. If you go up here, this is for the Pioneer or the Meta Gear, right? So this one here copies the values and it's equivalent to 1, which means 100%. So I'm not going to talk about what skills these are, or sorry, what attributes these are, but just wanted to show you that real quick. Okay, so yeah, that's how Kagebunshin works. It copies over a certain percentage of your attributes, but you also have to understand that it may not exactly amount to what you're expecting. Actually, it does a bigger damage than what you're expecting. If you think about maximum of 10% inheritance, you think about their damage should just be about 10% of your damage. But no, that's not exactly what's happening. That's because there are other things, there are other things that improves the damage of your Kagebunshin. So I think there's a rune that improves it. Also, while it's in hiding, the damage is also increased. So I think this, let me unlock real quick. I think this skill here, Hidden Shadows, right? So it actually gives him more damage. And I think there's also a rune that increases the damage for Kagebunshin. So let's check that out real quick. Where is it? This one, right? So it could deal up to 30% more damage, right? And it could actually make them tanky as well. I actually like this one. This is probably one rune you should be getting. Should be getting this, regardless of what build you are. Okay, I guess that's it for Magic Ninja, right? So those are just the things that I thought everyone should know when before they actually go Magic Ninja. That's because knowing these things actually you know affects your either knowing or not knowing these things would affect your gameplay a lot, right? Um, just do keep in mind that the way you should be fighting should be like a ninja. Okay, now, a lot of people are too focused with, or sorry, they're too obsessed with being able to deal damage head on. I think that's not how you should play this. Actually, because of that, this class isn't actually the best class when there's too much chaos and you're unable to select your target. So I'm talking about um, War of Crystal or War of Imperium. Well, of course, you can still be useful, right? I mean, you can drop Matsubisi, you can drop these pesky little things, and it'll just keep people stunned, right? Those who doesn't have stun immunity. You could also just stay hidden and cast this, right? So this one, I think, out of all of your skills, this dragon thing here actually does the most damage. So you can stay hidden and just spam this, right? I mean, if you really want to help with damage, but the best thing really is to find the right opportunity and then just disable a whole group of enemies. I think that's really how you should be using it. Okay, I think that's it. Again, the video stretched for too long again. Um, but yeah, those are probably I don't know, I lost track of the count of how many things those are, but yeah, those are things you should know about Ninja before you actually go into the magic build. Okay, if you're gonna ask me to select which one is better, whether it's magic or whether it's shuriken skill or whether it's auto attack, I really don't know what to say. I mean, I like this build because this is exactly how I wanted to play, so I'm gonna go with this. Okay, it doesn't mean that this will be the best build, but I can tell you, if you play this class right and if you have all of the right equipments, you will be able to actually help your team a lot. I think you are able to keep a fairly large amount of group of players locked for a long time, and you know, y- and that basically gives your team a whole big of advantage. Also for def purposes, like in War of Imperium, if you're defending your castle, this is actually actually one of the good classes as well because you can drop these spikes. You can actually, and I call this skill Flying Thunder God or Flying Raijin because of Naruto actually. But this one, Ninjutsu Dodge, actually is also good, right? So if you cast this right away and if you maximize this, sorry, if you max the skill level for this, it actually slows down your enemy, right? And you are able to teleport right beside them. Even if they're hidden, even if they decide to hide, you will still be able to teleport to them. Even if they're very far away, you will still be able to teleport to them unless they left the map. So they enter a portal, right? You won't be able to teleport through that. Okay, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. And I don't know what video I should be doing next. I think there are a lot of things lined up, but I haven't really done those yet because I am not so confident with the way I explain those. Like, for example, some people ask me about a video on death, right? I have said it pretty much when it comes to PvE, when it comes to monsters. But when it comes to player versus player, there are some added complexities to it, and I'm not 100% sure with my explanation, and that's the reason why I don't wanna I don't wanna share it. It's because if I myself am not convinced with my explanation and I feel like it's not rock solid, then I definitely wouldn't want to share it with all of you out there. So yeah, let me let me stop here now. If you do have any questions, just ping me in Discord. I'd be happy to answer them for you. I should be able to share some of the snippets of the code if you are interested. But yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you when episode 8 or ROM 2.0 comes out. Thanks, guys.